shocking, and embarrassing. That was absolutely un-City-like. Forget all the noise about, oh, City are back under Pep Guardiola this season. They dismantled Wolves 4-0 in the first leg, in the first game of the season. Come on, this is unbelievable. Playing at home in front of your fans. And City were completely dominated, completely beaten, helpless, outthought, outrun, outpaced, tactically outmuscled by a very brilliant, tactically sound Tottenham Hotspur. And all credit to Thomas Frank for what he's bringing to this side. I called it initially, even after the first round of games in the Premier League, that people should watch out for this Tottenham side. They look like a completely different side. Hey, what are we saying here? What are we talking about? This is a side that finished 17th, a dismal 17th on the league table last season. And they are beating Manchester City 2-0 at the Etihad. Could have been more. It was a horrendous performance from Pep Guardiola's side. I didn't see any fight. I didn't see any guile, what exactly is wrong at Manchester City. Yeah, Rodri is back. He came in, a few minutes to the end of the game, but that can't be it. Something definitely is not right. And City are not back. I said it from last weekend. If Wolves had been clinical enough, they would have, gone way ahead of City before City started scoring their goals. And that's exactly what is going to happen against a lot of the top sides in the Premier League. City are not back anywhere. The problems still linger. There's so much headache now for Pep Guardiola on how to fix this side. When you see a well-drilled, a well-coached side, you'll know one. And that's exactly what Thomas Frank has brought to this Tottenham Hotspur team. It was a brilliant game, by the way. Really well set up tactically. Changed a couple of players in this lineup from the one that beat Brentford in their opening game, 3-0. And we could all see it. Brennan Johnson giving them the lead in the 35th minute, and João Paulinho also doubling the lead to make it 2-0 in the 47th minute. Richarlison was everywhere. Mohamed Kudus overworked himself. And what can we say about the goalkeeper? What exactly can we say about the goalkeeper? James Trafford was brought in to be the new number one goalkeeper for Manchester City. He had an abysmal game today. Let's be honest. Let's face it. There is no way he's starting the game at Brighton in their next game. There is no way on earth Pep Guardiola will start James Trafford in goal next match against Brighton. This is unbelievable. This is very un-City-like. Trafford, usually he was composed against Wolves. Yes, maybe the press wasn't there from Wolves. It was brilliant, by the way, for Burnley in the Championship last season. But hey, the Premier League is a different field altogether. This is not the Championship. So I don't expect to see him in goal against Brighton. Thankfully, he chose a very wrong day, very wrong time to make those silly mistakes he committed today on a day that Ederson returns to the bench for Manchester City. And I don't see Pep Guardiola letting Ederson leave the club, because I try to analyze goalkeepers all over the world across various leagues in Europe. I don't see a better goalkeeper with their feet than Ederson. So when he's fit and you want to play the Pep Guardiola way, you have to go with Ederson. Now there's no way he's leaving. There's been talk, linking them with Gianluigi Donnarumma. I don't see maybe that happening. Well, if that happens, who knows? But if it doesn't happen, Ederson remains Manchester City's number one goalkeeper. James Trafford today was too amateurish in some of his decision making, coming way too early off his line, committing a lot of blunders. That kick on Mohamed Kudus should have been punished by the referee. He got lucky there on several occasions. There, they could have been caught out on the ball. I love the way Tottenham Hotspur. I love the way they press, and that is why I predicted. If you watch my some of my videos, earlier videos on Tottenham, I predicted that this team, bar any injuries to them, they'll definitely finish in the top four, or perhaps in the top six, or perhaps top four this season, given what I've seen. I have been watching them right from that Paris Saint-Germain game, in the way they are set up, the tactical discipline, the tactical awareness, the work rate, and these are the core principles of any Thomas Frank side. He was with Brentford for about 7 years. These are his core philosophy. Work rate, working hard for the team, defensive solidity, and of course, set pieces. These are his principles. These are his core principles. And we saw that today. They've now won their first opening games of the season without conceding a single goal. They've scored 5 goals now, 3 against Wolves and 2 against Manchester City, without conceding any. That is defensive solidity right there. And someone said, imagine if they had added Eberechi Eze to this team. Thank God they didn't get Eze. He's still without perhaps his best player in best creative player in James Maddison, and he's still able to turn out this kind of result. Yves Bissouma has been dropped in the last couple of matches for disciplinary reasons, and he's still churning out this result. He's turned around the fortunes of this club, of some of the players that we saw. Look at Odobe, for instance. Look at all of these players. Richarlison, a change in fortunes. All of them, Brennan Johnson, they looked like Pape Matissa. They look like different players all together. God, Thomas Frank is an amazing, amazing manager. And I love when managers put in the work rate, they put in the shift. You can see what they are doing. You can see managers who really do their homework. Thomas Frank has said he's going to set up his team based on the strengths of the opposition, and we saw that today. Tactically, he put up a masterclass against Pep Guardiola, who had no answer to everything thrown at him by Tottenham Hotspur today. That is a manager who is thinking tactically before a game. I've always said it here. No disrespect to Pep Guardiola. I don't fancy him that much, because he only has one way of winning. Just put out your best players on the field and then dominate possession, win games. No, you've got to think. You've got to do your homework. You've got to study the opponents. You've got to, see what they are coming up with. Pep doesn't do that. He just trusts that's why he assembles some of the finest players in the world, and then he trusts them to go onto the football pitch and get the job done. That's why I don't rate him that much. Every top manager out there would sit down, do their homework, and set up a team tactically, well drilled, disciplined. We don't see much of that from Pep Guardiola. Today, some of his new signings, nowhere to be found. Ryan Cherki, come on, bro. This is the Premier League. Ryan Cherki was a little bit too cocky, too arrogant in some of the too nonchalant in some of the things he did. This is the Premier League. Nobody allows you that sort of freedom, that sort of liberty to just stroll around the field and do whatever you want with the ball. So Ryan Cherki for me was a no, nowhere to be found. Tijani Reinders, yes, outstanding against Wolves. Today, he met a different opponent altogether in the midfield. Papi Matissa was everywhere. He constituted an immense nuisance. Oh God. I'm actually running out of breath here, but that was a breathtaking, a great game of football to actually watch. And their next game now is against Brighton, tricky opponent. Brighton will know what they can do to hurt you as well. So this Manchester City team will definitely suffer this season if they don't address some of their lingering problems, especially in midfield. Thankfully now, Rodri is back. Maybe all that problems to an extent will be solved. Then the goalkeeper definitely has to be replaced. Ederson returns in goal for them. And when Bernardo is fit, Bernardo Silva starts because he's the little man that causes all the problem. He's the one that stops the opposition from attacking, committing a lot of tactical fouls. And City makes that a great deal today. So, from what I've seen so far, Thomas Frank, what an amazing manager, what an amazing job he's doing. If he's able to sign a creative midfielder to replace the injured James Maddison, that would be massive. That would be awesome. Imagine if Eberechi Eze had joined this team. Just imagine. That would have been an incredible, incredible, incredible team. What a job Thomas Frank is doing at Tottenham. What a job. What a manager. Maybe the fixture schedule, the rigor of the Champions League might take a toll on this side because he doesn't have too much of a large squad to call upon, which is why he still wants to sign a couple of more players before the transfer window shuts. Because I don't know how they're going to cope in the Champions League, the Premier League, and in the other cup competitions. But if they are able to address bringing like 2 or 3 more signings before the transfer window closes, this Tottenham side, you guys should watch out for them. I keep saying it. When I see a well-coached, well-drilled side, I know one. And to saying that is the only addition to this team that we've seen so far is Mohamed Kudus. And who else? I don't see any new player in the team. It's just Mohamed Kudus. That is to tell you that when coaches, top managers sit down to work, they reap the benefits of their hard work. We are seeing the same thing from Manchester United in how Ruben Amorim, has transformed United this season. It's still too early. We wait and see what they are able to do against Fulham in their next game, which is on Sunday. But from what we saw United do against Arsenal, that was an incredible, incredible performance by them as well. So, guys, I think we should do well to watch out for both Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United this season. So, congratulations to Thomas Frank. 6 points in the bag, 5 goals, 2 clean sheets. What an amazing manager. What a record. Slightly missed out on winning that UEFA Super Cup against Paris Saint-Germain. 2-0 they led. They must have learned their lessons in that one. Some outrageous tackles by their defenders today. Mickey Van de Ven was amazing. Oh God. I think I've said enough. All right, Tottenham Hotspur, you guys watch out for this beast. They are going to constitute a lot of problems to top sides in the league this season. And I'm not putting it beyond them to finish in the top 4, given the way they've played so far in their first 3 competitive games of the season against Paris Saint-Germain, against Brentford, and now Manchester City. There is something special about this Tottenham side, and it can only get better if only they can get in a couple more signings for the manager. And why not, given what he's done so far? I'll see you guys again some other time.